Okay. Hello, everyone. Good to see you all here on Zoom again. This feels weird. I haven't done this in a while. But I wanted to call this meeting of the Millbrook Library trustees to order on Tuesday, November 16th. We have a quorum present. And just welcome everybody to our meeting tonight. The first order of business is to approve the October 2021 board meeting minutes. So I would, is there any discussion or comments regarding the minutes that were distributed? Okay, hearing none, I make a motion to approve the minutes from October 2021. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Oh, Kim seconds. Okay, thank you. And all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great. Then the minutes are approved. We do not have any public or employee visitors this evening. For my president's report, I'd like to take this time to just kind of touch base regarding the plan, the draft plan that Courtney sent around of the action plan and the library values and mission statement, and take a moment to discuss and just reflect on what she sent around, which the Turning Outward team worked on to come up with this rough draft. So Courtney, I guess I would turn it over to you to see if there's anything that you would like to say about it before we open up to more discussion.
Yeah, I think we worked really hard on this as a team it was me, Jody, Nikki, Abby, and Kristen. And we spent a lot of time crafting the language, especially for the mission statement, to try and really get it right. And I think there's nothing wrong with our current mission statement, but it's a little bit more passive than I'd like it to be. And I really wanted to focus on words like leadership and partnerships. And I think instead of saying like the Millbrook Library is to be something, it's like the Millbrook Library does something, which I think is a little stronger. I also added recently just an objective in the finance section about responsible investments that have a positive social impact. So that's really the only change I made since I sent it out.
And that was under the objective 2, right? Where we had just had a placeholder about investments.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That sounds good to me. So did everyone have a chance to look over the document?
Yes, I did send in, I thought that the mission statement, I understand there is a lot of wordsmithing going on, and I hesitate to jump in and suggest wholesale changes, but I personally didn't think that the potential mission statement had enough clarity around what the mission as opposed to goals and values. I did think it added a good part about providing quality educational programs, but I didn't know if it had a relevant point of being our mission to make the community more resilient, equitable, and inclusive as a library. I thought those were treated well, though, under the values noted under themes. And I kind of regret losing some of the language of the original mission statement, the dynamic lifelong learning center, for instance, and the free and open access to ideas and information. So in the draft I sent around, I combined a couple of the clauses from both mission statements.
Well, thank you.
And just one last point, fosters and strengthens community through leadership and partnerships. That didn't make a lot of sense to me, I guess.
I think we came at it with the idea like this is what we really believe that we're doing with the work in the library. Like, we are definitely a learning center, and we provide access to information, ideas, but I feel like that's just a small part of what we do, and I try to make it more bigger picture. And like with our programs, we do want to make our community more resilient. We're planning like disaster preparedness programs, and with the pandemic, like I feel like we really helped a lot with that once we got rolling, in terms of providing information to people about vaccines and stuff like that. So I don't know, does anybody else have any opinions?
Yeah, I mean, like the current mission statement just seemed like a mission statement that would be the foundation for any library. And I feel like the potential mission statement was showing like growth on those, foundational abilities that like a library would bring to the community, and tried to make it a little more not like branch out, but be like, like one's this, we're a library, but the other one's like, we're a library that's partnering with our community, and doing, it's more of like weaving the library into the fabric of the rest of the community. And I think that, that's through programs and leadership. And I'm just re-saying the wording of your mission statement, but I think it's kind of it's growing from the current mission statement. So I like how there's growth in from the current to the potential.
Yeah, and I think in the potential one, it gives specific, measurable, ideas of the direction the library is going. Like we can look at what you're achieving and make sure you're demonstrating leadership, and that you're facilitating partnerships, and you're providing quality, enjoyable programs. It's more specific. The other one is great. I feel like it's a little more general, and it doesn't do much to hold the library accountable for these things that you're trying to achieve. So that's something that I really liked out of the new one.
I did, if I recall correctly, and Courtney and Nikki can correct me if I am misremembering, but I think as a group, we felt we still needed to maybe massage the wording a little bit, or I don't know. Am I wrong on that?
We talked about how the sentence is quite long,
Right.
and whether we need to adjust just some elements of that. I think, yeah, that was that conversation.
Anyone else have any comments?
Okay, so I think what I can do is I can try and rework it based on the suggestions given, but that means we can't vote on it, so it has to wait till our next meeting.
There was one other suggestion I made as I looked down through the remainder of the statement. It had the word themes, which was kind of odd because I wasn't quite sure what it meant by themes. It seemed to me it meant values and goals, objectives, and action steps.
So the themes is kind of something left. It's not gonna. It's kind of what was talked about in our turning outward conversations, like the themes that we got from those conversations and how we're relating them to our action statement and what we're gonna do.
No, I understood where it came from. It's kind of an odd word to use in that context, because I think strong community spirit, diversity, sustainability and resilience, financial strength, and something like well-curated collections are definitely values for the library to uphold with particular goals. I thought the ordering was also a little odd in the sense that it had this, it placed an objective in the diversity category that I thought was really about being free and open, economic diversity. Number two, seemed to me objective number 2 to be something like lower barriers to access. I like that free and open in the original. And I'm looking for that. Where is that? Toggling a little bit. Objective 3, though, the library will support local cultural organizations, did seem to me more appropriately located under strong community spirit. And well, in the document, I just proposed also that the goals of volunteering and support volunteering and building partnerships with local businesses might be a little consolidated. So I just have some word suggestions in that document. That's all.
Okay, so I can revise this and I'll send around a revised copy probably sometime later this week, and you can all let me know what you think.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thanks, everyone. Are there any other comments? Anything that anyone else wants to add or mention on this document? Courtney, I believe we would like to have this approved definitely at the December meeting. That's our plan, right?
Yeah, and I can send it out by email, and if you want, you can do an email vote. The only thing is it just needs to be totally unanimous with all board members participating. So I'll try to send it out with like plenty of time to do that, or it can just wait till the next meeting.
That sounds good. I think it might as well. I would vote to have it wait to the next meeting, just in case there's anything anyone else wants to say in our meeting together. Okay, if there's nothing else on that, then we can move on to Courtney's report.
Oh, can I jump in?
Absolutely. Of
I
course.
have to go run over to the town hall for a zoning board meeting
Okay.
in about 5 minutes. So I just wanted to jump a little bit ahead.
Oh,
to
sure.
the Altieri sent over revised. I was able to get them to knock their number down for the HVAC design.
Right.
And so I know we talked about it last time. I was going to go back and do that. So I think I got them to reduce about 10%. And I know we've circulated it last time. I know Courtney sent out the revised one. And I don't know how many people are on to vote, but do you, because since I have to go, I just want to let you guys know my opinion is to approve it tonight. But if I don't, you're gonna be here or not. I mean, I'm gonna be here long enough because I had to leave in about 5 minutes. Either you guys can discuss it now or you can push it off till later.
Well, we might as well discuss it now, I would think. Does that sound okay? Courtney, does that sound okay to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So as Michael said, he was able to get them down to, I think it was, is it 64,800? Did everyone have a chance to look at it? Michael, is there anything that you want to add about it, or?
No, I also made them, I made them a little bit fine-tuned it to design a system that's user-friendly. So Courtney or any of the library staff can actually use the system, which is critical because if you let an engineer just design it, you can come back with a system that's either super dumb, where it's just a thermostat on the wall like we have today, or it's so sophisticated, you look at it and go, I don't know how to change the temperature.
Mm-hmm.
So I told them that the whole design criteria is to make a system that is extremely user-friendly, and that can be completely programmed in. But if Courtney, does need to make changes, she can easily do it herself, not have to call an HVAC person. In terms of temperature, humidity, or things of that nature, or timing, like if the library changes their hours, it's easy for her to go in and adjust the hours of the system.
That sounds like a bonus. Is there any further discussion, any questions that anyone has on the proposal from Altieri?
This was the group you really liked, right, Michael?
Yeah, this is by far, I use them a lot, like say Anderson Center for Autism, and they're doing the Thorn building, and they just, all the other engineers I've used in the area come up way short compared to these guys.
Well, that's enough for me.
All right, well then if there's no other questions or comments, I would make a motion to accept this proposal from Altieri for
Second.
the HVAC process.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Anyone
Well,
opposed? No? Hearing none? All right, it's approved.
Oh, thank you, everybody. I gotta run over to the town hall now.
All right, thank you so much, Michael.
Yep, I'll see ya.
Okay. Okay, so I would now move to Courtney's report.
All right, so just a brief COVID update. We have been getting a little bit more pushback about the masks more recently, but I still don't feel comfortable with changing our policy at all. I recently had my own COVID scare last week, and it was a little too close to home. So I think it's definitely still something to be worried about. And I know people don't like the masks. I know people are tired of them, but I feel like I'm really responsible for everything that happens in the building and trying to keep people safe. So my opinion hasn't really changed on that. For building updates, my first thing was the HVAC proposal, but that's all done now. Our elevator has gotten its annual inspection, so that's all set. And we did have a little bit of a issue with our heat on Saturday the 6th to Monday the 8th. It just wasn't working. It wasn't on. And when I came in Monday morning, it was like 55 degrees in the building and not comfortable. So Botini came out. I called them on Saturday and they came out Monday morning and they fixed some settings on the furnace. Apparently it was a super easy fix and it's been working well since. So I was really relieved it was relatively easy. The one thing is that the heat in the Flagler room is still not working because the hot water coil to heat it is leaking and it's been shut off. Apparently Botini can't find the part, like it just doesn't exist anymore. So I'm really hoping, it's been comfortable in there the past couple of days. It gets up to like the mid 60s, if not high 60s. So I'm really hoping that over the winter we can just kind of handle it the way it is and it won't get too cold. So that way we don't have to spend money fixing something we're just gonna take out in a few months anyways. I've been keeping an eye on the temperature and it's still okay. So we might be able to get away with it. But in the meantime, Botini is trying to find a part for us and they're going to keep me posted on pricing. So I'll keep you posted on what happens there. For my collection updates, I just wanted to make a note that print circulation is up this year from about 11,000 materials circulated at this time in 2020 to over 16,000, which is pretty cool to see that increase. I'm also investigating the possibility of putting the Millbrook roundtable files we have online. And I think I've been talking with Jen at Southeastern and I think I'm going to do this. I think it'll be really, really helpful for people to search. All the files will be searchable and people will be able to like search for keywords and names. And I think it would be just a really great community resource. So when we talk about our budget stuff, I want to account for that and the slight increase that it'll be to host those files on their servers, but I think it'll definitely be worth it. I've also purchased some new titles for our Spanish collection with funds from the MHLS Outreach Mini Grant, and I'm planning on getting some more in print as well as in ebooks. So hopefully those will be well used. For development and grant updates, our fall appeal letters have gone out to the printer and personal letters have been mailed, so that's all set. I don't think anybody's gotten them yet, but they should be on their way pretty soon. We've also received our money officially from Dutchess County for our Learn, Play, Create grant, and I've started ordering furniture. I think this week I'm going to try and order tablets for kids' educational programs. So I'm glad I'm getting moving on that though, because I ordered some couches for the kids' room that are really cute, but my shipping estimate is February. So I'm learning it's better to order the big stuff sooner rather than later. Are there any questions so far? All right, so moving on to the friends, they handed out candy on Halloween and it looked like a lot of fun from the pictures that I saw. And they're currently planning on holding a similar event for the Festival of Lights event in December. So I think they had a really good time and they had a lot of fun seeing the kids in costumes and handing out free books. So I think they're gonna hand out like hot cocoa or cider and cookies or donuts or something like that because they really enjoyed it for Halloween. So just an update from MHLS. I'm still waiting for a couple of the sexual harassment prevention training forms. So just a reminder, I really need those definitely by the end of the year. And this came in kind of last minute from Mid-Hudson, but I have to pass it on to you that Mid-Hudson was told by New York State that all the library boards in the system need to vote on their next direct access plan. So Rebecca sent out an email saying that earlier this year, an ad hoc committee was formed to review the current direct access plan and propose a new draft. The plan is largely unchanged apart from the removal of a restriction that was not technically possible and the inclusion of a restriction on patron and staff placed holds in qualifying situations. So this draft has been approved by the Mid-Hudson Board, the System Services Advisory Committee of the Directors Association. So both committees approved this and now it has to be approved by all the library boards. So Rebecca's asked all the libraries to vote on it at their board meetings. So I did put it in the folder. Does anybody have any questions on it before a vote?
I do not.
All right then.
I mean, I just want to make a comment. I think that the direct access thing, it's all because of the Union Vale issue.
I think it's something that we have to have anyway, but it's for situations like Union Vale is when you really need it.
Yeah.
Okay, if there's no other questions or comments, I would put a motion on the floor to approve the Mid-Hudson Library Systems Plan of Service 2022-2026 free direct access plan. Is there a second? Carrie seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Yes.
opposed? Hearing none, we have approved it.
All right, thank you. I will pass that on to Mid-Hudson and I'm sure Rebecca will be happy. So for my outreach updates, just an update on the Great Give Back events that we had in October. They were a really big success, which was fantastic. We collected a lot of food. I don't know if you saw the pictures I posted online, but it was a crazy amount of food, which was awesome. We also made dog toys for Care to See and 6 fleece blankets for kids in hospitals through the Linus Project. So that was definitely a success this year, and I'm really happy with how that went. Abby and I went to the trunk or treat on October 30th and it was a ton of fun. And we handed out free books and signed some kids up for library cards. And overall, it was kind of a rainy day and low-key event, but it was definitely worth going to. The kids got so excited about picking up free books. That was fun. I also went to the E&L night at Elm Drive last week to talk about the library and what we do. And 5 families attended and they all signed up for library cards, which made me really happy. So it was definitely worth going there. We're also going to be doing a number of holiday collections for families after Thanksgiving. We're partnering with Angels of Light to sponsor a family so people can take ornaments, I guess, off a tree, and the ornaments will have gift ideas for a family and people can bring them in, and then Angels of Light picks them up and wraps them and delivers them. We're also working with a local bounce house rental place, which is doing a collection for both food and animal shelters. So we're going to have 2 collection boxes with them too, which is pretty cool. I also ordered 250 new library cards with a temporary design until our new logo and card design is ready. We were scraping the bottom of the box for library cards and we needed something like kind of to hold us over until everything is done with our new design. So but but I think the design is pretty nice. I think I posted a picture on social media. It's kind of like the limited edition library card. And that brings me to personnel, which the only thing I have under there is I've attached a list of proposed holidays for 2022 in the folder. So I believe those need to be approved for next year.
Yes. Did everyone have a chance? Is there any comments or questions about any of the proposed holidays? Hearing none, I would make a motion to approve the 2022 proposed holidays for the library. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, then we have approved them.
All right, thank you. So just a programming update. We're going to be doing some more Zoom programs as winter approaches. These seem to do pretty well in the winter because people don't want to drive in the dark. And I don't know about all of you, but the time change hit me really hard. And it's like after 5 o'clock, I don't want to do anything. So I think hopefully Zoom will be a little bit better, especially with the craziness of the holidays coming up. So, and I did want to mention, this is kind of tied into Unionville, but since the Unionville vote failed, we're pretty sure, I think the election results still need to be certified. I would like to put in place some new rules about programs. So if a program is full, I'd like to put Unionville residents on a waiting list, because the programs that tend to fill up quickly are art programs, which we often purchase supplies for, or are more expensive programs where we chip in for like an instructor or like an artist or something like that to teach lessons. And I would prefer that Millbrook residents get priority for these programs since they are paying for them. And I would like to start this in 2022. So our online registration has a place where people have to put their town. So that's, I'm still open to like suggestions or changes moving forward, but I really think it's fair that for programs that fill up, I want Millbrook residents to have priority. So I don't know if there's any thoughts on that.
I do have a question though, because how are you going to know? Like my mom lives in Unionville, but her mailing address is LaGrangeville. And I know somebody else who's Unionville, but their mailing address is Pleasant Valley. So I just don't, I like the idea, but I don't know how you're gonna, is there a way you can figure that out? Because not
Yeah.
everybody who lives there they don't have that as their mailing address.
Yeah, so basically anybody that has like one of those questionable addresses, we can look up in Sierra and just see if they're a town of Unionville resident. So they'll have that patron type. So it's not that much extra work for us. So. All right, so just a little update on sustainability team. We actually met earlier today. And each team member has actions that we're working on, and we're currently 29% complete with their certification. This is a little bit less than when we were doing just the environmental part before we switched over to the new certification process, because there we were just working on the environmental aspect, and here we're working on the environmental, social, and financial aspects of it. So it's more stuff, which is why our percentage is lower than it used to be. But we're making good progress, and things are happening each month. So slowly but surely we'll get there. And I think my only other thing was for Unionville, which I already said that the 414 vote, it looks like, was not successful, which is pretty disappointing.
So do we know now what happens in terms of, is Mid-Hudson going to do anything or? I
haven't heard anything from any of the other library directors actually, or Mid-Hudson. So I'm kind of sitting back to see what happens. I think people are kind of waiting until the election results are official, so that all the absentee ballots can be counted and everything before they make any decisions. But I know, like I said, I've already started thinking about what to do with programs and stuff like that. So I'm sure we'll be talking once everything's confirmed.
Right. Okay. Does anyone have any questions or comments or for Courtney? Thank you. As always, Courtney, there's a lot going on at the library. It's wonderful to see. All right. I don't have any communications or correspondence to report. So I would now turn it over to Mark for financial report.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I believe with this past Thursday in the holidays, we got the bills in, but I don't think I got any of the new financials for October, but there was some corrections. So in my financial report, it's still, again, just the January through September with some corrections. They're very minor. I think they're something with supplies, a small amount for public relations and programs. So there's not really too much to review there that I haven't reviewed at our October meeting. But that didn't impact the balance sheet. So there's no changes there. So there's nothing really to review there. I'd just like to see if you guys had an opportunity to review the bills for October 28th and November 12th. I think I was just looking at them myself, and I'm guessing is the Save a Tree, is that the tree work?
Yeah, that's something I did not mention is our tree came down in front of the library yesterday, like purposefully, not
Okay.
accidentally. But yeah,
That
that
wasn't
is
the-
that is
And that
that.
wasn't for $8,000, like the first proposal we got, right?
I think it was 4.
4 was the other proposal. Okay, so it was still a significant savings. So
Oh,
thank
so
you.
we no, so the proposal we got was for 4. We had to give them a 50% deposit, which is what is in the bills. So we still have to pay for the other half of it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I think you got like from another company. You got something for like 8,000 a couple months ago.
They
somewhere.
were they definitely put the work in. They were there all day and they cleaned it up nice. So
Okay. Well, super. All right. So other than that, my little question, did anyone have any questions or comments for the bills for October 28th and November 11th?
No.
No. If there's no questions, I'd like to make a motion to approve the bills for October 28th and November 11th. Anyone like to second it?
I would second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And the only other items I had is just some new business. Courtney has done a lot of work in terms of our payroll schedule, put in a little bit of work in terms of our budgeting. Just from your earlier comments, Courtney, I guess there's an item on the budget you want to increase. So just to have it fully prepared, and I just want a little bit more input on it. Would it be appropriate for the finance committee to meet maybe in 2 weeks, Tuesday at 7 o'clock?
What's that date, Mark?
The date would be the 30th, November 30th. Or it could be December 7th. Obviously not.
I would
Yeah.
vote to meet earlier. And what time did you say on the 30th?
7, but yeah, I'd be okay with meeting earlier. Absolutely as well.
All right, well, why don't we can, that sounds good to me. We can just confirm it with it's you and Michael. We'll check with, see if Michael can attend as well.
Okay, and Courtney, if she
And
could,
Courtney, yeah.
that'd be super. All right, I'll send out an email for the 30th. We'll talk about if it's 5 or 7 o'clock. And just because we have some different ideas in terms of the payroll schedule too, so I want to get everyone's opinion. I did review at great length the 414 and where that came from and kind of where we are now. 7 years into our 414, and I think prior to that 414, I don't think they were doing internal audits. I don't think they were doing the level of bookkeeping we are doing. They had some rudimentary, just like costs would increase by 2% every year. And that's how they calculated it. I think costs are a lot higher than 2% a year. think the library has grown a lot more than 2% a year. Courtney's earlier thing with the circulation going from 11,000 to 16,000 is obviously more than 2% a year. So I don't know. That's why I would just want to get together and talk about it, because yeah. And the other item I just want to let everyone know about, I know Courtney has been using the Bank of Millbrook's credit card, the library's credit card, and she just through programming the $5,000 limit just wasn't working. We were coming up to that limit a couple of times, so we approved and increased the limit to 10,000. So I just wanted to put that out there. That was reviewed by myself, Courtney, and Jody.
And so that really came up because I ordered the couches, which were about $2,000, and then couldn't do anything else. So thank you for your help with that. I really appreciate it.
I'm excited about couches. Every time I go to visit you, it's a lovely foyer in the library, but I think it needs some couches. I don't know if that's where the couches are going, but
You'll have to visit the kids' room, but they might be worth it.
okay. All right. That's everything for my financial report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Okay, at this point, I do not have any other business. Does anyone have any new business or anything that they'd like to bring up that we should discuss this evening?
I got a newspaper clipping for the Millbrook Library about the great give back in the Millerton News. I don't know.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, very exciting. I always love hearing about the library in the news. So good job, Courtney.
I was curious if anyone read the book, The Big Read. I wanted to ask Michael, but he left already. He said he was really excited to read it.
Oh, the graphic novel? Yep, I love that book.
Yeah.
It was
Wasn't it
fabulous.
good?
It was
Yeah, it was
fantastic.
good. It was good. And I'm reading their one they have a book club talking about, so I picked that up.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
that was good too.
I was patronizing the library last week. I went to the movie that Grace Church co-sponsored called "To Which We Belong," this wonderful documentary on regenerative agriculture. It didn't get a lot of turnout, but I hope perhaps we might be able to make it available again. It's by Academy Award-winning documentarian Pamela Bowl, who is an old friend, and it showed some inspiring stories about practices around the world that are really helping build up grasslands and so on. And then open mic night as well. So in fact, I put in a plug in my sermon this Sunday. I said, I've been going to the library. It's one of those institutions that really builds our community and so on. Everybody thought I was going to start hitting on stewardship for the church, but I said, the library is worth supporting.
Excellent. Sounds good. So our next meeting is December 21st. I just want to make sure everyone is good with that date. It's kind of encroaching on the holidays there, but we would again do a Zoom meeting. And that meeting, we are presenting the budget for 2022, so it's important. And we also want to vote on the new strategic plan. So we want to make sure that we have a quorum for that important meeting.
I will be driving, I think.
Oh no.
So that day we're going to Minneapolis.
Oh, okay.
I would tune in on my phone in the car. I'm not sure if you're desperate for it, if it's the decision breaker,
Right.
but my attentions will be diverted.
Well, we don't want you to be distracted and driving, so I'll let you know if we end up learning that we're going to be low, or if we find out that not everyone can attend that date, then we could possibly find another date. But we're going to go on the assumption that I'll send a reminder out to everyone and just have everyone confirm that they can attend. All right. Anything else, Courtney? Do you have anything else that you want to bring up or need us to discuss this evening?
I think that's everything.
All right.
If not, I'll send an email.
All right.
All right, everyone. Good to see you. And we'll be in touch. Look for emails from Courtney and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Thanks,
Goodbye.
everyone.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night, Courtney. Talk to you soon.